it take 5 minutes, you know, now for that 5 minutes of enjoyment, you're looking after another human being for 30 years. It's a labor of love, but not trap. It's a trap.
But I don't want us to
let's
on the topic of, you know, choosing to go back home.
All right.
Okay. The topic of choosing, as someone that's lived abroad, married
for many years,
a French lady, and
now divorced after 50 years of marriage,
and they have children together and all of that,
and grandchildren,
to finally decide. The interesting part is this: he chose to live the rest of his life in Nigeria. He wants to die and be buried in Nigeria, and his French wife chose to stay and live the rest of her life,
which is her right,
obviously, in France. But it's interesting because it's still bringing us back to the topic of wanting to go back to where you come from. And she lived in Nigeria for over 20 years, right?
That's right. But she went to secondary school in Nigeria.
They didn't born here, they were born abroad or born here?
They were born abroad because I was abroad at
in France. And then they were raised.
And I'm the kind of person who insisted on bringing my children to the world by myself. You know?
Yeah.
To have children.
In the labor room, that's what he means.
Yes, I physically, I brought them out. You know? I may bring my children out.
Don't take the glory. The mama did not push.
Yeah, she's pushing, but somebody has to help her because doctor is there too.
So no take all the glory. I say she
wait. For 9 months, wait. For 9 months, they do a breathing exercise with her. They follow her go to this. I try. Then
she was pushing. Waiting now. She was division of labor. She was pushing
before she push. I can't go to the hospital.
I'm talking about that delivery. Go.
Yeah. So wait, me first carry my pikin come out from inside.
Let me turn off this fan. It's making a bit of a noise in the background.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Now,
you see,
so it was joint effort.
Yeah.
She was pushing and he was pulling.
Okay, having children is not a question of fucking woman. I'm saying it crudely because.
I'm gonna bleep that.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Sex is a trap.
Oh wow.
It's a trap because nature requires that we procreate.
Okay.
And for us to procreate, sex has to be sweet.
Okay.
So from the age of 12, 13, we are looking for the opposite sex, right? By the time the average person is 17 or 18, he has fallen into. Now it takes 5 minutes to have to impregnate a woman, or a woman to conceive, right? Now this thing sweet, you go find the opposite partner, and it take 5 minutes, you know. Now for that 5 minutes of enjoyment, you're looking after another human being for 30 years. It's a labor of love, but not trap. It's a trap. So you don't. I love you. You love me. Something. You don't ejaculate. 30 years you go to look after another human being. You see, it's because the human being is not like a dog or a cat that within months you don't.
Baba has no filter.
No, I'm not talking about
okay. His children were born abroad. They were raised in Nigeria. And going back to what I was saying.
Well, again, by the time we sent our children to university abroad, they've never come back again.
Yeah. But you were still in Nigeria when you sent them abroad.
Yes.
So him and the wife were still living in Nigeria, and they sent them abroad to go to school, but they never came back. They Kukuma stayed in France, where their mother is from. But the area of Japa, him as a Nigerian, an African man, chose to Japa-da. Sorry, that's what I'm going to do. Japa-da to Nigeria and spend the rest of his life in Nigeria. But Japa has no regret.
Japa is a new word, but it's not a new concept. We used to call it Andrew before.
No, really?
Yes, in the time of Nigeria started to spoil the time of Babangida. Then they say Andrew went to in fact, the government even made some video about it. Andrew went to the airport.
Yeah, Andrew, no check out or something like Nigeria go better. I remember that. Yes, he used to be called Andrew because of that advert. Okay.
This Japa is a new word, but for an old concept. It's when the economy is going bad and people are running away. So they don't do Andrew, don't check out.
I remember that.
This one is Japa.
Okay.
But it's a mistaken something. It's a horrible mistake. It's because I've had a case of people who sold their car, sold their house, and when they go to Europe or America, where they believe it's a paradise, they hit the reality. They can't get jobs. A man who's an engineer, they begin to be laborer or a doctor. Doctors find it easier, but they're paid minimum wage. But somebody who's a professor at university begin to wash car.
If they don't get a job.
No, most of the time they don't get jobs because now it's very tight.
No, but
you have to have proper papers in order to get official employment.
I think some people, not all, some people are able to get the work visa already, so they're already going
That's right.
with the work.
But you see, they're exploiting us. That they want our doctors. We have trained our doctors at our expense. Now they lure them abroad, but they pay them minimum wage. Understand?
But you see, my own stand on it is that some of these our doctors, they don't earn enough in Nigeria, and they see the opportunity, they grab.
Yeah, but you see, because the system has collapsed. The system has collapsed because we have bad government. You see, okay, somebody removed the petroleum subsidy and succeed in making all the prices double within 1 year. What is that? That's not the government. That person has no care for the situation of the people, and all the projects are made for stealing money. This man steal money, Now, you can't blame the young people for running away. Are they going to starve?
Exactly. I am one of those that have always said, if you see an opportunity to go abroad, I have absolutely no qualms about it. But I want...
But what are you going to do abroad?
Like we're saying,
how are you really going to prosper abroad?
Really, see, it's not even about that.
If you go to become a waiter in Kentucky Fried Chicken in London,
but here's what I'm saying. But for example, when you went abroad, you went for school.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Eventually,
in those days, when you went to school abroad, you were programmed to come back.
Yeah, which you did.
Yeah, in any case, in those days, we were even interviewed abroad by the Public Service Commission. In those days, the government was, clever enough to want Nigerians abroad to come back home after their studies.
And use their skills for
so the Public Service Commission had teams touring the whole world and identifying Nigerians who are doing well at university. And so I was offered a job already in Nigeria. In fact, the condition was so wonderful that they give you the air ticket to come back with your family or alone, and it is guaranteed that you will start working immediately you step into Nigeria.
That makes sense.
They give you accommodation, and they give you car loan within a month.
Oh wow!
So
things have really changed.
And then when you start working in the civil service, you have children allowance, education allowance for
in Nigeria.
Of course, there was no corruption because there's no need. All right. When I came back to Nigeria, first of all,
with your wife and 2 children.
That's right. At the airport, there's somebody from government waiting to convey you to a hotel which they have booked for you.
Wow.
Within 1 or 2 weeks of staying in the hotel or staying at Niger Palace Hotel, they have given you a government house.
Wow.
See, Obasanjo is a criminal because he sold all the government houses. Where are the civil servants, where are the young civil servants to stay now? Why he chose to be selling the civil service houses, I don't know. I don't know. Something's wrong. All right. Now, they said they monetize something. What is monetized? The man is poorly educated. Okay.
So, but like on the issue of Japa-da, right? I am fresh. Some of you know that I'm one of the Japa-da people, I need to say, and I'm still very fresh. And but for someone like him that has Japa-da, what are the joys of being back home?
Okay, first of all, if you live in another person's country, you'll never be comfortable. Now, for instance, I can talk as I like about government, tell them they're thief and so on. I can't do that in France. I can't go to France and say the person is a thief. Because they will throw me out of that country like a rat. I have no right to be there. I can't talk. I can't open my mouth. You understand? All right, now, if you come back home, you're building something. If you labor abroad, everything you're laboring there is for the people there. They are the one gaining from you. And your children are not going to be brought up in Nigerian tradition. You've lost a lot. So I realized that as I was getting older, why should I stay in another country and die there? Then they bring coffin to carry my body from the airport and things like that. Doesn't make sense. But there was a defining experience that made me stop everything there and go home. Because I was living very well. I was making a lot of money doing consultancy work for the UN system and so on. I owned a flat, a very, very expensive flat in London. I had 2 flats in Paris. I was doing very well. But it went to my head. I didn't know that I've lost it. Because you're so comfortable. Yeah, but if you have a good job, if you have a source of income, I didn't know it has gone to my head. And when I was small, see, when I was born, it's like I won a lottery ticket, because I was born into the hands of very caring and very visionary people, And my mother was very strict about certain principles. I don't know if your listeners here understand Yoruba, but the thing she hated most was Igberaga, Oda. Igberaga is taking yourself high.
Carry body up.
Like
your toes.
And then she hated pride, also
arrogance.
That pride goes before a fall, but she also Igberaga, Oda. It's not good.
Being proud is not good. Being arrogant is not good. Yeah.
Then that is self-promotion. And then she hated also greed. Wabia. Once you call you Wabia, you're in trouble. Then once you call you Wabia, you are finished. My father was very strict. Okay. Now, so I was in Europe, enjoying myself, traveling, to America, this and that. And I was being paid so well, had such good contacts, for consultancy work. I've been paid at that time $300 a day. The consultancy can last up to 2 or 3 months or 1 year even. That is $300 before expenses. That was it. No. And so they give me business class ticket. I stay in 5-star hotels. My debt was going to my head. I now began to believe I'm an important person. Even the Igbo people supposed to be working with me as a team. They're my boy, they carry my load and so on. So one particular year, luckily for me, I went to do a consultancy in Senegal, Saint Louis. That is the former capital of Senegal, And when I came out of the plane, of course the people carry my luggage and everything. I got to the hotel, 5-star hotel, it was a beautiful suite. So I decided to take a stroll to, just, relax before coming back to sleep. Now, in many parts of Africa, even in the US, like Washington, D.C., the separation between where the haves live and the have not is imperceptible. Yeah, is imperceptible. Like in Washington, D.C., less than a mile from the White House, you are entering to the worst ghettos. So there are slums in Europe. There are slums in Paris. I mean, it's a totally false image that is being shown on television here. There are people very poor, and so on. Now, so when I came out of that hotel to stroll, I didn't know I'd already reached the poorer part of the city, of the town. I saw an elderly lady selling oranges, banana, pineapple, so on. So when I saw this banana, I like it, because in Europe, the banana you buy can be injected all kind of things. So I was attracted. This mama is bent with age down, and I'm up here like this. So I like the banana, and I stopped to ask her, I'm speaking French to her, a banana, how much?
Say it in French.
C'est combien de bananes, s'il vous plaît? I don't even put s'il vous plaît, I don't say please. I say, how much be your banana? You don't want to answer me, just stay where I stay. And I'm up there. So I asked 2 or 3 times. And I said, don't look me. I began to think maybe she's deaf, So I tell it louder. The banana, c'est combien? How much will be your banana? Then she just looked me from like this, said, good evening. Say, I nearly died. I nearly fell down.
So if you don't understand, that's the way the old woman was letting him know.
That is a bushman.
He should have said, he should have been respectful and greet first.
Somebody.
You understand?
That's it. Like this, they take Koboko beat me because all the teaching of my parents, you know.
Yeah.
So what she was telling me is that all your gaga is useless because you're a bushman.
Yeah.
All your big manism is nonsense.
Bushman is like you no respect.
But not only that, you are not civilized.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know how to
manners.
You have don't know how to behave. Terrible. The first of Balogun came back. Immediately I ran back to the hotel. Of course, the plane was already gone, but the first thing in the morning, I'm already at the airport and gave up that consultancy. As soon as I reached Paris, I went to home and told my wife, I'm going back home. No, I'm not coming back to France. Only small cloth I pack. You know, and I've not been back since. I've not been back since, you know.
So he basically suddenly realized that he has lost the Nigerian in him.
And I'm living a false life. Yeah. I'm living a false life without values, that my values are financial.
African value, because this is African, you know.
Yes.
His African value, he realized that who he is as an African man was missing, or who he should be.
That's true. Because the materialism of that society is not compatible with Africa. That's what is wrong with these rubbish government people. Because they are in a situation where only money counts. So 1% of the population of Nigeria owns 90% of the income. Everywhere you have bank, but bank do not produce anything. Yet they are making a tremendous amount of money. Every 3 houses is church because they are not concerned about religion. They tell people who are gullible enough to listen to them to bring 10% of their salary every month. And then they will show them the road to heaven. The man always say want to show somebody the road to heaven. He don't go there before. There's one man called Adeboye. He said that if you don't pay tithe to him, you don't go heaven. Now him they control the door of heaven or what? I mean.